What's happening, family? Today I wanted to go over a very important time of year. Okay, very important time of year. The winter solstice. All right. Now this winter solstice is coming up Monday, December 21st. Don't get fooled by the hoopla, man, because it's a lot of hoopla around this upcoming winter solstice that ain't got nothing to do with the winter solstice. And what happens is you'll lose meaning and power out of the true meaning of the winter solstice. If you're not careful, you can't fall into the hoopla. So let's go over the winter solstice, what it meant to ancient societies, and what it means now. All right. So first of all, the definition of a solstice. Um, the definition of the solstice is the time or date at which the sun reaches its maximum or minimum declination, marked by the longest and shortest days. So with the winter solstice, that marks the shortest day of the year. And as I said, this year it's Monday, December 21st. So remember that a solstice is basically happens 2 times a year, and it's the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year. In this instance, we're talking about the winter solstice. That is the shortest day of the year. All right, very important to understand. So let's look at the practical significance of the winter solstice. This is why ancient societies looked at the winter solstice for this, that, and the third. It was used to guide activities such as the mating of animals, the sowing of crops, and the monitoring of winter reserves of food. Remember, we're talking about ancient societies. They didn't have internet connection like we have today to just Google what was happening, or better yet, they didn't have grocery stores like we had today. They had markets. And the grocery store is able to take food from all over the country and put it in one store. So when things run low in one part of the world, they can grab it from another part of the world, whether they got to pay more for it or not. That's why during certain times, certain foods cost more than others, right? So in the ancient time, that wasn't a thing. And we don't even got to go to ancient time. We can just go back a couple centuries, all right? And what we find is these people had to rely on events in astronomy to realize what was about to occur, what was about to take place. And this allowed those people to properly prepare for those challenges ahead. All right? So in the winter solstice, it's very important to understand that these people literally moved their lives around certain key points of the year, of the seasons, in order to prepare for the next season. All right? The winter solstice was immensely important because the people were economically dependent on monitoring the progress of the seasons. Like I said, they were dependent on the seasons. All right? Starvation was common during the first months of winter, from January to April in the northern hemisphere, or July to October in the southern hemisphere, also known as the famine months. So they went through hard times in coming into those winters with the famine months. This is why they had to be aware of the signals that were letting them know when these times were about to come into fruition. All right. In temperate climates, the midwinter festival was the last feast celebration before deep winter began. Most cattle were slaughtered so they would not have to be fed during the winter. Very important to understand, because this proves, like, for instance, I'm a vegetarian, and as a vegetarian, people always have things to say. Understand that People were not meant to eat meat morning, midday, night. They didn't even do it in the past times. Listen to what they said. They slaughtered the animals going into the deep winter. Why? Why? Because the meat was only used to get through the hard times. The meat was only used to get through difficult periods of time where there wasn't food readily available. That's what it was for. So let's keep digging into this, fam. Let's keep digging in. So it was almost the only time of year when a plentiful supply of fresh meat was available. It was the only time of year where fresh meat was just available everywhere. It was festive. The rest of the year, it wasn't that way. And the reason was the cattle didn't have to be fed during that time of year. So now they slaughtered them because they was feeding it. Look at how they followed the patterns of nature. When it was plentiful, they ate their share, their family ate their share, and then their animals that they were farming ate their share because it was just enough for everybody to have. Now coming into the winter, there's not as much for everybody to have. So what happens? We kill the cattle and we eat them. There's barely enough food for us to get by in nature. So we're going to rely on this meat that we slaughtered more to get us through. One cow can get us through a long time. See what I'm saying? And this is how they planned going into the deep winter so that they could survive. It didn't say that they just ate bacon all damn year. You feel me? They wasn't eating bacon breakfast, lunch, and dinner, getting triple Big Mac, McDouble bacon. They wasn't doing all of that. They were conserving their energy during the winter months by killing cattle that they were growing throughout the year. Very important to understand, family. The majority of wine and beer made during the year was finally fermented and ready for drinking at this time as well. Okay, so this is what made it a festive holiday. This is what made it festive. Wine and beer was available to drink. That turned into a celebration going into the hard months of deep winter, where it wasn't guaranteed that you would make it out the other side. Okay? Now, the spiritual significance. Spiritual significance. It marked the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. Does that sound familiar? The symbolic death and rebirth of the sun was marked in the winter solstice. Who else died and came back? Jesus? Horus? Huh? You see what I'm saying? Didn't Jesus die and came back in where? When did Jesus come back? In the spring. Spring forward, right? He blossomed again. He rose. This is a story that you see recurring over and over, especially with these sun gods. Remember, they say Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is a sun god. Jesus is no different than any other deity that, like, I practice voodoo, and a Christian will say I'm an idol. But you got to realize, Jesus is a sun god. So Jesus is an idol. Okay. He's a deity. He got deified. Look up the definition of a deity, and you will understand what I'm saying. So, in actuality, that's just the facts. Alright? Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the facts, baby. Now, this symbol of rebirth is what brought about holidays like New Year's. It's also the true origin of Christmas. Okay. We're going to get deeper into this Christmas stuff. Alright? We're going to get deeper into Christmas. We're going to get deeper into Christmas, man. Alright, listen. So the solstice in India. The Makara Sankranti is a festival day in the Hindu calendar in reference to the deity Surya, or sun. Once again, the sun is connected to the winter solstice, heavily connected. It is observed each year in January. It marks the first day of the sun's transit into Makara, or Capricorn. It marks the end of the month with the winter solstice and the start of longer days. So in the Hindu tradition, they're celebrating basically the coming of longer days. They're celebrating the sun starting to get longer and lengthen its days. All right. This is very deep. Like when we get into these ancient societies and how they were able to celebrate this and celebrate that, it starts to get deep, fam. Celebrations include bathing in holy rivers, giving alms and donations, and praying to gods, and doing other holy deeds. So it was a time that they really gave praise spiritually. Okay? So let's look at the solstice in Iran. Iranian people celebrate the night of the northern hemisphere's winter solstice as Yule night. In this night, all the family gather together, usually at the house of the eldest, and celebrate it by eating, drinking, and reciting poetry. Let's look at the solstice in Germanic Europe. Because, see, a lot of people be trying to say, oh, white people don't have a culture. No, white people did have a culture that got wiped away by the church. This is facts. So let's look at some of what that culture was. The pagan Scandinavian people and Germanic people of Northern Europe celebrated a winter holiday called Yule. And they would do things like burn a Yule log. See, we can understand this. I'm a real occultist. You feel me? So when I come up here talking to y'all, I'm talking real occultism, real ancient knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't bogged down by religious ideologies in the skies. Because you'll get scholars that'll come on here and then they'll start talking about some Bible concepts, bringing it into spirituality where it don't belong. Talking about Satans and Lucifers and all this crazy stuff. What are you talking? Do you even know the reason? Do you even know the symbolism behind that? You know what I'm saying? They just come here talking some good and evil. We ain't doing that today. We're not dealing with the spooky stuff today. All of that is spooky stuff. We're not dealing with the spooky stuff. I practice voodoo, and I'm telling you that today we're not dealing with the spooky stuff. So if a voodoo man is telling you that we're not dealing with the spooky stuff, that's what it is. We ain't playing no games today. The solstice in ancient Rome. So in ancient Rome, we have Sol Invictus, or the unconquered sun, the invincible sun. It was originally a Syrian god who was later adopted as the chief god of the Roman Empire under Emperor Aurelian. His holiday is traditionally celebrated on December 25th. Do I have to run that back? Listen, let me bring it back. I'm only going to bring it back this one time. So pay attention. Because I'm only going to bring it back this one time. For real. Let me run it from the top, coach. Coach. Let me run it from the top. Alright? Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, the invincible sun, was originally a Syrian god who was later adopted as the chief god of the Roman Empire under Emperor Aurelian. His holiday is traditionally celebrated on December 25th. As are several gods associated with the winter solstice in many pagan traditions. It has been speculated to be the reason behind Christmas's proximity to the solstice. Boom. Boom. Y'all don't know what day Jesus was born. If you believe in Jesus, you don't know what day he was born, but you celebrate in December 25th as his birthday. How come? Duh. This is why. This is why. Alright? Understand, people. It don't take a lot to really grasp this. Let's look at the solstice in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians celebrated the rebirth of the god Horus. The festivities lasted for 12 days. They would decorate their homes and areas with lush greenery. So Egypt was celebrating the solstice. And Horus's birthday is said to be when? December 25th. Facts. Go Google it right now. Stop the video and just go Google when Horus' birthday is. When's Horus' birthday? See, y'all in here with King Brujo right now, man. I'm just going to spit facts. You hear me? I'm not even going to play. Other festivities related to the solstice. Basically, solstice festivities. Saturnalia in ancient Rome. St. Lucy's Day. Christmas. Christmas is a solstice festival. Period. Christmas is a solstice festival. Alright? I'm going to say it one more time for y'all all the way in the back. All the way. I'm going to say this one more time for everybody in the back of the class. Christmas is a solstice festival. And it's very what? Pagan. But it's all good. Because this is a happy place for pagans. You feel me? This is the happy place for pagans. All pagans are welcome. Whether you're Hinduism, whether you're Wiccan, whether you're a voodoo, whether you're a brujo like myself, whether you're a voodoo-isan, whether you're a bokor, it don't matter. Whether you're a santero, this is where pagans are accepted. Alright? Right here on this channel. 100. So like and subscribe. You hear me? Like and subscribe. The Albane, Arthon, and that is Welsh. The Dongzai Festival in East Asia, and Midwinter Day in Antarctica. So the solstice, it was celebrated everywhere. Alright? All over the world, they celebrated the winter solstice. It's all facts. Okay? I don't make this stuff up. I just report it to y'all. I take the knowledge, I take it in, and then I give it to the people. So then the people can take it, they can run with it, and then they can better their life with it. They can build this, they can build that with it. It's all good. Alright? Let's look at the spiritual uses of the winter solstice. Okay? Let's get into the spiritual uses of the winter solstice, because it's important. Because you have to know how to make it tangible. You have to know how to make it practical. Powerful energy for regeneration, renewal, and self-reflection. Very important. This is a time for regeneration, for renewing yourself, for self-reflecting on yourself. It got turned into an energy harvest because they put all the holidays and crammed it in this space. But in reality, this was a time of self-reflection, introspecting, renewing yourself, and finding ways to grow. Okay? But if you caught up in holidays, how you going to introspect? You worrying about buying presents. You not thinking about, come on, let's get deeper. Let's get deeper. Symbolic of the birth of the spiritual sun within. The birth of the spiritual sun within. That we are not separate from the Creator, as we have been conditioned to believe, to feel that we are less than divine beings. It's a time of quiet energy, where you get the opportunity to look within yourself and focus on what you want and need. Key word, quiet. The winter is quiet. That's why in the middle of the winter, they call it the what? The dead of winter. That's the middle of the winter, right? The dead of winter. The middle of the winter. The dead of winter. You see? Winter is quiet. Why is it quiet? Because so many things are dead. And it's just a quiet time. Ice is insulated. Snow is insulation from sound, from anything, right? So winter is very quiet. It's a quiet time. And if y'all follow nature, you will never get steered wrong. Follow what animals do during this time. Follow what happens with plants, with the planetary movements. Like, just look at what takes place around winter, and you will be in a good position, all right? It's a time to set goals and intentions for the coming year, to examine and let go of our past, and to make changes within ourselves. I gotta read that again. See, I preach the voodoo gospel, so I gotta read that again. It's a time to set goals and intentions for the coming year, to examine and let go of our past, and to make changes within ourselves. It's a manifestive time. And it's a time to cut away baggage that doesn't serve you no more. Cut away people that don't serve you no more. Cut away a relationship that's holding you down. That's what the winter solstice is about. And a time to think ahead and manifest what you actually want in life. This is a powerful, powerful manifestive period. Now let's get into some things that you can do during this time, all right? If you're somebody that works with ancestors, this is the perfect time to manifest. December 21st, you should be doing an ancestor ritual. That's it. All right? Get you the candles that you are using to make this and that work. Write your intentions on them. Give the offerings and make that thing come into fruition. If you don't work with ancestors, this is still a good time for you to manifest, okay? And this is how. This time is meant to reflect and recreate yourself. You should spend at least an hour doing that on December 21st. Okay? So at least an hour. Take out an hour of your time. Light a candle. Keep the lights off, because it's going to get dark fast. And embrace the darkness. Embrace the darkness. Take some time to think deeply about yourself, your past, and what you want for your future. Critical. Critical. Take you a candle. Write your intentions on that candle. Let it burn. Sit in a dark room. All the lights off. All the electricity off. And really think about your past. Think about where you at and think about where you're going or where you want to be. And bring it into fruition coming into the new year. See, that's why we celebrate New Year's. Because that's what it's about. You feel me? That's what's happening. And this is where you hear people saying, oh, it's my year. It's my year. Right? It's my year this year. Oh, are you sure? What were you doing all year to make this your year? And what did you do in the winter solstice to ensure the manifestation comes in? Huh? Very important. Did you spend that winter solstice buying presents all day and breaking your back working to celebrate this and that? Or did you take that time to reflect, introspect, and further your life? Huh? That's going to determine what's really whose year it really is. You dig? Because let me tell you, the people at the top know this. That's why they're at the top. So, that's what I want to let y'all know, man. Take this time to really map it out. Bring it into fruition. and take your power back, people. Come on, man. We're going into the age of Aquarius, man. This is the information age. This is the time where you manifest what you want. This is the time where you break away from old traditions that don't serve you. This is the time where you create a new. This is the time where you build technology, innovative ideas, community outreach, community uprisings. This is what it is all about. So that's what I want y'all to understand, family. Take this time to yourself. Be a little bit selfish during this time and get what you want out of life. Alright? And so that's what I want to leave y'all with, man. It's your boy King Brujo. Like, subscribe, share this to your friends, man. Share this to your family. Let them be able to get on that path of greatness, of manifesting everything that they want. And that's what I want to leave y'all with, man. I love y'all 100.